Tied with an Easy Thread by Christina Taylor. You bring a glow, you heat me through my chicken broth of childhood. I taste your essence. You mother me still, well-being in a warm soup bowl of memories. Prologue, 1951. Your mum's a Jerry, she's a German. The boy's voice, in a Welsh Valley's lilt, sings out the accusation. His grimy face is thrust towards mine. His clothes smell faintly musty. I draw back. Yes, I say. So what? Implied in that one word. Other girls and boys group round us in the playground, watching, waiting. I don't know any of them as yet. I've just arrived, a new girl all the way from London. Tension hums in the air, making my scalp prickle under my platinum blonde plaits. The boy moves closer. The Germans started the war. I was only 2 when the war ended 6 years ago. I know hardly anything about the war. It's never mentioned at home. This boy is on firmer ground than I am. He knows something about the war that I don't. For all I know, he might be right. They didn't. My hesitation gives me away. They did, though. My dad said, your mum's a German. She started the war. She's a Nazi. Nazis are real bad, my dad says. Your mum's a friend of Hitler. She's a German. She must be a Nazi, so there. There's a shocked murmuring from the onlookers. Jerry, Nazi, friend of Hitler. No, she isn't. She doesn't know anyone called Hitler. Who's Hitler, anyway? You don't know that. You don't know nothing. He sneers, turning to the watching crowd. There's Tup. She don't know nothing. I do know things. I know lots of things. The other children are sniggering. Your mum must be real bad, real wicked. A nasty Nazi. He points at me. Nasty Nazi, nasty Nazi. My dad says all Germans are Nazi pigs. He makes grunting noises, playing up to the laughter of the other children. There are tears tightening in my throat and gathering in my eyes. I am not going to cry in front of these children. I'm sure it isn't true, although I'm not sure of what it is they're accusing her. My mummy is the kindest, funniest person in the world. I just know she couldn't ever be a bad person. How could they think that? I feel such deep hurt and anger that anyone could think such a thing, that my throat feels blocked by a stone and my heart thumps. Well, you're wrong, so there. Your dad's a liar. He must be. My mummy's lovely. She is German, but she's not a bad person. She's very good and very kind. Ooh, my mummy's lovely. His Welsh voice mocks my English accent. The other children laugh. Their faces look ugly as they turn away. Their scorn frightens me. This new school seems a scary place to me. I'm so miserable for the rest of the day. What if they're right? What if all Germans are bad people? But how can that be? My mummy isn't bad, and she always tells me lovely things about Germany, sings German songs, plays folk tunes on the piano, tells me German fairy stories about witches, princesses and woodcutters' children. When I arrive home from school, it doesn't take long for my mother to realise that something has upset me. She always knows when something is wrong. What is it, Crystal? What happened today? Mummy, there was this boy at school, and he said all German people are bad, and he said you started the war, and he said... Her arm goes round me as I sit down next to her on the sofa. Ah, Crystal, for everybody the war was a bad thing, an evil thing. For the English and the German and everyone. Now, yeah, it was because of a very bad man called Hitler what happened. But, of course, that doesn't mean that all Germans are bad people. Your Uncle Hans isn't a bad person, you know? Or Erike, or Lilo, or Hans Werner. Or you. I told him. I said you're not a bad person, even though you are German. Of course I'm not bad, Chrissy. There are lots of good and bad Germans, just as there are good and bad English people everywhere, good and bad in every country. There were very, very bad men in Germany, especially for Jewish people. They hated Jews, you know, like Hans Werner. He's German and Jewish, and so is Sonia. A lot of Jewish people who were born in Germany had to leave the country because Hitler, the leader, would be so bad to them. That's why I had to come to England too, because my father was Jewish, and so I wouldn't be able to work or get married or anything anymore in Germany. Ach, wo, I still miss it though. It's a lovely country where I come from, especially Dresden, my home city. She gave me a squeeze, and I know that everything is safe and good. Does she regret having told me so little about what happened during the rise of Hitler and of the war that had brought her to Britain? She has surely not told me in order to protect me from the horrors of what happened. Yet not knowing has left me open and vulnerable. So at the age of 8, I begin to hear a little of my mother's story. This is the story she began to tell me on that day in 1951, continuing to reveal more and more of her memories throughout her long life. And as her story grew and unfolded, I came to realize that as her daughter, this was part of my history too, and as a fellow human being, it is also part of yours, for we cannot separate ourselves from each other, or from what happened in the past.